start before because that would have been classic.
Oh, no, it would have been great. No, I love all
Talking
that stuff.
Sweatpants.
I love it, but it's
Two
started
ladies
now.
talking
You've got
sweatpants.
recording
Yes,
now, right?
yes,
Okay.
it's recording now.
Some house cleaning things to take care of. Want to
Yes.
thank our coffee contributors, Brian Sterling, my wife Rosanna, and Brian recently had a dog of his pass, so I've been wanting to reach out to him online. Brian was a part-timer at KNUE probably in the mid-90s, and very good for the weekend, always dependable. And anyway, I just wanted to say, Brian, I'm so sorry, and I never got around to doing that. And also, Saturday Night Live has the 5 host thing. David Massey
Yes.
has the 5 coffee thing. And what did I just do that was different?
What did you just do? You didn't call him Angie's dad.
Thank you so much. I finally it took me like 9 months. I could never remember David's name. And so I would just say, Angie's dad, which sounds like a Rick Springfield song. So
to catch Melissa up, Angie is one of my best friends from the time I was 8 years old.
Oh, nice.
Her dad, David, loves the podcast.
Oh.
And he buys us coffee.
I love that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to David.
Yeah.
Yes.
Angie's
See?
dad.
Angie's
Cool.
dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Test.
Roll music.
Let's roll it.
Welcome to the Unknown Morning Show.
It's the show where we explore radio,
Podcasting,
TV,
gear,
gearheads,
and making money with a hot mic and other stuff too.
This is the Unknown Morning Show.
I'm Mandee Montana.
And I'm Chuck McKinley. Okay, so she has been a part of your lives in the mornings, 20 plus years, delivering information. And let me put this on stilts a little bit. When you're sitting there, maybe doing potty break number 1 or 2, she's doing hair and makeup and getting ready to come into the radio station and put together and, write lead-ins for stories, edit stories so she can deliver, terrific news and information with Jeff Rourke on the KTBB Morning News. It would be Melissa Kiser.
Hi there, guys. Hi. Thanks
Welcome
for having me back. Thank you. And Chuck, it looks more like a full-on panic mode in the morning at my house. We're frantically, hitting the snooze button 25 times. It's the Olympics of snooze buttons.
Gosh, I don't know how you can do it. I know there was a while you all were, some years it was at a 5 o'clock start.
Yeah. I used to get up at midnight. Like when I first started, you're so nervous about getting everything done. You just want to get everything done, and you want to have plenty of time. You don't want to shortchange yourself because you don't want to go on the air unprepared, obviously. You guys know that.
Yep.
But for the listeners, and it is very nerve-wracking. And through the years, you get more comfortable, and I've just kind of pushed the time back. And plus, when we started doing our morning show, we pushed it back to 6 o'clock instead of 5. That gave me a little more time. So it's a little bit better. It's still getting up early, but...
It's like anything else. You get your tricks into place on how to do it. I totally understand, but still, it's like 6 o'clock is 6 o'clock.
Someone told me one time when I first started, they said, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. And it's been 21 years. I've never gotten used to it. You do not get used to it. No, that was a lie.
Well, there's sometimes, I'll say to Jeff in the morning, how you doing, Jeff? And he goes, something like, he'll say, living the dream.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it's like Thursday. I mean, and I can tell, like Wednesdays and Thursdays, sometimes you both are tired, and why not, I have great hours. I can come in at 9, 9:30, leave at 6. It's great.
See, I like my hours. I'd rather do what I do. There's no traffic in the morning when I go to work. I'm not competing with school traffic. I get off work, and I'm not competing with 5 o'clock traffic. It's awesome. I'll go to a store, and it's just me and the retired folks out there shopping.
The only time I have any traffic issues, Friday Night Football. That's it.
Okay.
That's the only time I have to watch it. This is a fun fact that I did not know about you. And when the old K-Doc was on 92.1, I absolutely adored that station. When I was programming KKUS, I would send Paul Berry, God rest your soul, Paul, fan mail occasionally. Be like, hey, I had to do a remote in Longview. Thanks for playing some Zeppelin for me, brother. But I didn't know that you'd actually jocked on the show.
I did.
What
Isn't that
did you
great?
do?
I just did voice tracking. I strictly did voice tracking. I'd go in and record whatever the weekend show is what it was.
Yeah.
And so I would just record the lead-ins and the outros and the commercials, and that's it.
But I'm going to say something, and Mandee will tell you, it's just not voice tracking. I mean, you still have to put thought into it.
Absolutely.
You have to put feeling into it. You have to do things like whatever, Paul Berry said, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. You still have to make it work, man. And let me tell you something. When I programmed KKUS, Kenny Smith and Amy Austin came to me and said, we'll do nights and overnights for you. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't even thought to ask them because Amy was doing mornings on KOOI at the time. I would not have asked her to do that. But
she loved you and she loved that station. That's why she did it.
Well, yeah. And I never look at it as sometimes, like, especially part-timers, like sometimes when you have there was maybe 6-7 months ago over on 92, our sister station that does sports, all of a sudden they had a couple board operators that quit because of whatever. And all of a sudden, you're having, Kevin, who's does master control during the week, having to come into the weekends.
Yes.
I guess what I'm saying is everybody's valuable.
It's true. It's very true. And the more valuable, the more jobs that you learn at the station, the more valuable you are. And
exactly.
So it's kind of a little security.
I had something, we were talking, I guess 3 weeks ago when there was some change. Midge Brody left. She had her baby. Ziva was born.
Congratulations.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
I think, something like that.
I'm not sure. I got a text yesterday, but...
Yeah. And she was editing in Focus, so I ended up getting that. And, a lot of times, and it's the same thing as any new duty, you just sit there and work the puzzle to go, how do I get the same result in the least amount of time? And I think I worked it down to where, listen to the show, and Roger has it to where it's maybe an extra minute of fat on the whole thing, edit, go through the system and get it done. Did you ever think you would do anything besides news?
As far as radio is
Yes.
concerned, I really wanted to be a rock and roll DJ. I still have dreams of that. Yes. News was never on the radar for me.
You just fell into it?
I fell into it, yeah. I told you on the first time we did the podcast, I told you that I was taking a class at TJC, and Roger Gray came over to do a presentation and asked if anyone wanted to intern. I volunteered. That was 21 years ago, so I interned for 6 weeks, and then they hired me on part-time, and then full-time, and then just gradually worked my way into it, and I had no intention. I did want to get into radio. I was taking radio classes, but I thought, well, this will get my foot in the door, and then I'll meet the right people, and then I'll go on to start my rock and roll career.
Yeah.
I want to be that person on the stage that's introducing the rock concerts.
You're in the wrong
I want to
city
be
for
Mandy
that.
Montana. Yes, it's true.
I have rock and roll dreams too, and they've never come true.
Okay, so 21 years later, I don't see it coming true. So I'll just go to a concert and be content with that.
Man, and I was kind of the opposite. I was in country radio for, I think, 33, 34 years. And just because I needed a gig, fell into sports talk. And then when our 99.3 Talk FM went bye-bye and switched to Hispanic Top 40, what? You did what? I ended up, applying for the production gig, with Mr. Gleiser and got that. But, it's so funny how perspective happens. Things that I didn't want to do 20 years ago, like I wouldn't have wanted to be a production director or news guy or whatever. You just end up doing it because, A, you need the cash, and you find out maybe you'll learn something.
Well, but isn't it so interesting how people just fall into the right place? They fall exactly where they're supposed to be. I mean, it's so wild. If I would have my way, I would not be here. But I mean, look what I'd be missing out on. I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Especially now. I mean, with the radio landscape.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. I don't know if you saw it. iHeartMedia did another bloodbath last week, and it was just I don't know if it was Bo or Jim. I think it was Jim, who'd been on Lone Star 92.3 for like 40 years. So he's been there 40 years. He gets done on a Friday. They don't let him do a farewell show. He gets done and they fire him.
Wow.
That's crap.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? But we've seen that before. Our station's kind of had a little, not necessarily downsizing, but people create their own demise, I guess is how that goes.
That also happens in radio pretty frequently.
Yes, it does. They don't get to say goodbye either. So.
No.
Yeah, but and you know what, though? When that happens, I have never been in one time where I told somebody to do something
That's right.
physically unattractive.
Okay.
to themselves. But they engaged me too. He like called me a little SOB, and I just said,
Were you?
no,
Okay.
because I was in Charleston, West Virginia, and the gig just didn't work great. But normally I've always told young jocks, no matter how much you hate the person, don't say it.
Yeah, well, that's just a good rule in general, I think.
Just walk.
Yes.
Just walk. Just go. Take off. Because guess what? We're in a business where they may need you in a couple of weeks.
That's true.
I mean, this is my third round with BB. I was at KKUS twice. KNUE, was I there twice? Yeah, twice too. So, you just try to be friendly. And
You do, or you find a coworker like Daffod, and then you have a venting partner. You can
Yes.
just, behind closed doors, you can vent about all this stuff, and then just kind of release that pressure.
buy me a cup of coffee, Mandee.
Yeah.
I've seen that on other podcasts. That's literally...
Yeah, it's like a virtual tip jar. It's really that simple. So you go to the show notes, click Buy Me a Coffee, and then you have an opportunity to support the show in any way you like. Imagine yourself going to coffee with Chuck and myself and saying, hey, I like what you do on the show. I'm going to buy you a cup of coffee. Only all you have to do is click a link. It's that simple.
That there's things, and I learned this probably... when you and Daff have your talks, I stay away because I know it's your special time where you guys are talking. The only thing I've ever...
It's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, yeah.
The only thing I've ever said is, can I kind of put a mic there and record
Yeah.
you guys? Because I said, we can intro and outro, edit this, and we got us a podcast.
It's pretty fun banter. We have a good chemistry. We do. We have a lot of fun together.
I don't think Daff has ever really been on the air, has he?
He's not interested, no. And I've tried to get him to do it before, and he is just nope, no way. And I think the microphone might just kill the chemistry. I don't know. Sometimes
Yeah.
it has that effect. Yeah.
It can. It did with us once.
Really?
What?
Let's hear about it.
Oh, you mean when we actually did the...
When we actually tried to do a morning show.
Oh, really?
So that's the origin story of the name
Yes.
of the podcast, is that we would do this exchange when he would take over for me. I was doing middays, he was doing afternoons. We'd have one break that we were clever on daily.
Okay.
So we thought we were so
Awesome.
clever on that one break that we could do mornings together. So then our morning guy goes on vacation. We're like, we'll fill in.
It was only one day, by the way.
One day.
Okay.
It was a disaster.
Was it really? What happened?
I don't
I don't
know.
really remember.
I have
think
it
I
on
blocked it
I
out.
literally have the show.
You do?
On a flash drive. I do. I should break it down and air check it and just, put it up or something.
That would be good.
That would be a funny special episode of the podcast.
Yeah. But yeah.
But maybe we should react to it. Instead of just put it up by itself. We should listen to it and make fun of
American Idol
ourselves.
judges.
Yes.
Wow, that was interesting. What do you think, Mandee?
How old was I when I did that?
Aw.
Yikes.
Well, it's hard
No,
going
it was
into
fun.
a different show altogether, and then
It is.
with two different people.
And that early,
Yes.
I mean, not that you get used to it, but waking up that early, but you do get used to performing, I think,
Absolutely,
at that
you do.
hour.
You do.
We were not used to performing
No.
at that
Yeah.
hour. I think we were both looking at each other like, why did we agree to this?
was
Drinking
like having-
coffee, trying to wake up.
Yeah.
It was awful.
It was
See, I
bad.
wake up like this, and it's pretty obnoxious. I mean,
That's
I'm
awesome,
like at full
though.
throttle, like at 6. By the time we go on the air, I'm at full throttle.
That's
I was sitting there one morning when I had to sub for Jeff, and it was a Tuesday or Thursday. You and Daff were doing Comedy Corner at 4:30, and I'm sitting there doing my little number where I'm
Daff is
typing
there
until
at
my
4:30?
fingers bleed.
Yeah.
And it was just, you guys were brilliant, and I'm going, really?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
I can't, I usually, I'm not snapping to it until 10 o'clock, but
But he's that type of person that can pull it out of you. He'll set you up for the joke, and then you just land the plane. It's good. You want that person.
yeah. Oh, yeah. He, about once every week, he'll come by, and all of a sudden we're talking about something. But usually once I get going at 9:30, I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I just don't. I feel that I need to keep pushing forward until maybe 3, and then things kind of clear,
Kinda
and then
coast
it's
a little bit.
web stuff and stuff. Not that I'm complaining, because, man, I would, as I've said before, I'd rather be busy beats the alternative.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
And just for the record, Daffod is our web guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He's not just
He's not
somebody who's
some
hanging out in the
rando, yeah.
office. That's, yeah.
He's not there cleaning the carpets.
Yeah, he's just not showing up at 2 in.
Yeah.
Hey, can I tell you a joke or something like that?
Like the
Okay,
cleaning lady?
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Listen, in our building, we used to have, there was security that worked in our building because there were train personnel that for the company, train. Okay, so they used to have an office on the 3rd floor. We're on the 4th floor, and so they hired security. I have no idea why, because it wasn't a production plant over there, but I guess they had top secret materials. So they would hire these 80-year-old men to secure the facility.
Okay.
And these guys have nothing to do at night. So I'd be there at 2 in the morning, and they would come up to the radio station. Now, granted, I'm very busy. So this was back in the early days, and I'm frantically at 2 in the morning trying to put stuff together because I'm not comfortable yet. And they come in, and they're just telling these cheesy jokes. So finally, I had to put a curtain up in the window so they couldn't see if anybody was there or not. And sometimes they would just knock on the door. Our doors are locked. We keep them locked for security reasons, our own security. But these guys would just sit there and knock and want to come in and just hang
and flirt
out
with the cute little girl that was working there.
I guess so, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So anyway, I had to hang curtains.
Did you ever just go away?
I didn't, because I don't want to be that person. In my head I was, of course, but I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
No.
I get it. I might be the same way if I was working security.
Of course, there may be something where you just say, and I've done this before where Kenny Smith was up last week. I did some things for him, and Kenny, God bless him, he delivered me a donut and a little lunch money, and we were talking, and I said, Kenny, I got to go back. It was like after 10 minutes ago, I got to go back to work. I have to right now. And of course, Kenny being Kenny, he already had a cup of coffee from the lounge, was moving around the station, just hanging and stuff.
I love it.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I love it.
But, that shows you that, all the brothers and sisters are comfortable at the station.
It's true, yeah.
So, occasionally at the radio station, Mr. Jared Jones will post up things about and important life things. And yesterday it
Important
was
life things?
on Friday, life things.
Okay. All right.
And it's important. I think. What's your favorite pasta?
It was National Pasta Day yesterday.
Yes.
Just to set it up. That was the reason
This is
behind
making
it.
more
Friday,
sense.
which
Got
would be
it.
Yeah,
the 17th,
I didn't
I
know
guess.
that.
And Jared being the young, what's Jared, 21?
Ish.
So he still
I think
has
he's
life
22.
ahead of him, and he's still
Yeah.
happy at this point. We haven't ruined him yet.
It's like, dude, you're going to be jaded. It's not going to happen
Give
yet.
it time.
but
I'm
eventually.
giving. My money's on about 6 more weeks. Okay, so anyway, he went around and he did everyone's favorite pasta.
Yes.
And I do not entertain this. I'm all business, which is not true. But I was just like, Jared, come on, who cares? So I said SpaghettiOs. It doesn't matter.
And then we sat there and we debated. Swear to God, I said, well, it's just regular spaghetti, because if you're going to an Italian restaurant, if their spaghetti is not good, it's not worth to go to. And then Roger weighs in with rigatoni, and
David said egg noodles.
Yeah.
Really?
And
yours?
that was a debate
Ooh,
because
that's
you
tough.
said,
Macaroni.
but you said egg noodles is not.
I said egg noodles don't count.
And then, so we said, well, let's ask AI. They know everything.
Oh, we did? I must have. See, I think that's when
You
I
had already
exited
moved
Yeah, I
on.
was like, I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done here.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I'm a pasta freak, so I like all pasta.
Okay.
But what I usually order at an Italian restaurant if I go to test them is lasagna.
I love lasagna.
Same
Yeah.
kind of concept as you with your spaghetti. It's like
Yeah.
if you can't make a good lasagna, you're
right.
probably not doing much else. But
I'm a fan of the calzone when I go to an Italian restaurant. I
yeah.
love a calzone.
is
I
that
love
like
it.
this big sandwich
Yeah.
type thing?
Well, it's the pizza that's folded over, It's like that pizza in the middle with the crust on
Both sides.
It's baked, yeah.
You
and
can't
then
go
you dip it
wrong
in the
with
marinade.
that.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
yeah, it is very good. I've been to Italy a couple of times though, so I've had
Okay.
I've had a really, really good pasta.
Yeah.
And then I've had, American pasta, which is also good. But it's not handmade pasta from an Italian grandmother.
And it's probably not SpaghettiOs.
It's no.
I
I
can't
can't
remember
have
the-
spaghetti.
I
It's been a
have
long
to.
time though.
Me too. It's been a very long time.
I was laughing because I had this vision because Friday it was Gretchen Jackson's birthday and she had pizza. We do alternate between pizza and donuts and bagels on your day, and she had pizza. And all of a sudden I just had this in my mind. What if you went up and just, folded a pizza and said, dear, I'm having a calzone.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It wouldn't go over well at all.
Nobody cares.
No.
They wouldn't even pay attention. No.
Well, because they get like 6 pizzas. I mean, everybody is well fed. That's for sure.
We had donuts last Friday. Last Friday, we had donuts for my birthday. I turned 50 last Saturday.
I saw a picture of you dressed as
Sally O'Malley.
Yes, Molly Shannon.
Yes,
Yes.
We had a Saturday Night Live themed birthday party
Yes.
at my mom's house because October 11th, 1975, the first episode of Saturday Night Live came on air, and that's the same day I was born, same year, and everything. So
Wow.
isn't that
Makes
funny?
sense.
That's so fun.
It was really cool. So I asked my mom and my sister-in-law to plan a party for me.
Yeah.
And we invited some people and asked them to dress up, and it was a lot of fun. Now, my brother, I have an older brother. His name's Randy Kiser. He's a band director at White House High School, and he dressed as Turd Ferguson.
No.
It was epic. It was
That's awesome.
epic. It was epic. He stole the show. Winston was the cowbell guy, and then
Yep.
someone else came in dressed as cowbell. I can't remember what his name is. But anyway, yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
bet.
But I was very sore the next day because I had to kick in all the pictures.
Yes.
Oh, man.
So my alignment was a little
So
wackadoodle.
for photo ops, you gave it your all.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was the last time I did dress up. It was a Halloween thing about 10 years ago. I was Nacho Libre, which just
That's
didn't,
great, Chuck.
it didn't work well. And Rosanna gets me this
Nacho
costume.
Libre.
Well,
my gosh.
So we're going to the place.
Did you come up with this idea or did she? I'm just curious.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
great.
okay.
And so we're
Well
going
done,
to this
Rosie.
place, going to my brother-in-law's brother's house. And Rosanna pulls up, and I get out, and I'm going to take some goodies in. And I walk in the house, and all of a sudden there's two kids in the living room, like 10-year-olds staring at me. And I'm go, oh, this doesn't feel right.
Did you do that, Nacho?
I was in the wrong house.
Oh my
no,
God,
you weren't.
Chuck.
You were in the wrong house. Did I think you were robbing them?
And then,
That sounds like a Charlie Sheen story.
and so there's people in the backyard, maybe 20 feet away, kind of staring at me. And I go, I have the wrong house. Excuse me.
I can't believe I've never heard this story
You've
before.
never heard that? No.
No. Oh, that's classic Chuck.
I still get requests for that, and I go, man, I look like the world's worst stuffed sausage.
Oh,
then.
Chuck, that is too good. That
And
is too good.
The people that were there came over to where we were at and said, we want to meet the guy who came over. And
wanna file charges?
we did pictures and everything.
That's
yeah.
so great.
that's
Good
fun.
for you.
Yeah, it was fun though. But I mean, yeah, but that was embarrassing because what do they call it? Where if you enter somebody's house and they don't want to
Breaking and entering?
B&E.
they can kill you. What is that
Oh,
called?
that's stand your ground, right?
Yeah, stand your
Yeah.
ground.
Yep. And you're in a mask?
Yeah.
I think this guy was trying to kill us.
That sounds like another side of the news story.
Yeah.
Or the officer said, I think he was Nacho Libre. Well, he's dead now.
He can be both. He can be both.
I'm so glad you lived through that experience.
Oh, God.
That's too good. Mandy costumes?
Oh, too many. Over the years. Not recently, though. I haven't
Okay.
dressed up in years, but.
Really?
Yeah. Nope. It's been a long time. But I've been a flapper. I've been a maid. I've been a German, like Lederhosen, German.
Like
I can't think of what it's called. now.
Farfignugan?
Yeah, from like Oktoberfest,
Yeah,
the Oktoberfest costume.
Okay.
I've had one of those through the years. What else? I did dress up
Swiss
recently.
Miss?
I forgot about this. I dressed up as kind of like a mermaid for the spelling bee for PAVE in September, August. Can't remember when the spelling bee was, but our team at my new job, I'm working for Cause Creative. We dressed up as characters from The Little Mermaid.
Oh.
And so we had an Ariel. I was not Ariel. I
Okay.
was essentially one of her sisters, but I had to spell. So I was wearing these like bell-bottom mermaid scale printed pants
Yes.
and a sparkly top, and I had streamers in my hair and bright makeup and all, like glow-in-the-dark stars or something on my face. I don't know. It was silly. It was very fun.
That's fun.
It was fun.
Silly is fun. I'm
was
down
fun.
for silly.
I told him if I couldn't spell, at least I could sparkle.
Nah.
So I wore sequins and bright stuff, and yeah.
That seems like spelling in public is a lot of pressure. It's almost like being a cashier and trying to count money.
Yes.
I panic when all eyes are on me.
I'm not good at math either.
No.
I mean, that's
No,
why
thanks.
I married my accountant, man. It's just, let's make this simple. $20 every paycheck, and we'll be married for 40 years. And guess what? That's what's happened.
Good for you.
Yeah.
40 years is an accomplishment.
She keeps me around. Well, it's 38. I count dating. I do.
We're rounding up.
Sure.
Okay.
I count dating. I think dating's a big deal.
Yes, it collapses for some. It did not for you.
Yeah. So, but it's been something to. Gosh, when we first met too, I think after a couple of months, I did this. I said to her, "You know what? I don't think I'm going to be a good husband. I really don't. And the kids at the time were 8 and 5, and I said, I'm not going to be a good stepdad. I really don't think we should do this. So she kind of Seinfelded me on something. She gave me 2 days and called back and said, what's going to make this work? Which I was not prepared for that question.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said, so I threw this out there thinking, well, she's not going to go for this. And I go, I'll see you on the weekends, and that's it. How's that sound? Okay. And I go, all right. and see, there we are now. Still
40 years later.
40 years later,
Wow.
still living together.
She saw something in you, Chuck.
Yeah, I don't know what.
You got
That's
beyond the
nice.
weekends.
That's right.
Somehow.
Now our biggest challenge is we have a raccoon in front of the house we don't know what to do with.
You're really going to tell this story right now.
Let's hear it.
The raccoon story.
Okay, what's going on?
So I get home last night, and right at the curb, our front curb is a raccoon staring at me.
Okay.
Now, usually, any critters, they're going to leave right away because they're scared of you.
Mm-hmm.
This one is not. It is just staring. And, I'm like going, Rocket, is that you? No, it's not Rocket. And then what kind of made it even different is maybe an hour later, Rosanna's going to go open the front door because I said it's gone.
Yeah.
She opens the door and it's about 2 feet away.
Wow.
And so it's a Friday night. Rose Festival's happening this weekend. It's Friday night football. My wife calls the cops on the raccoon. And, she just said, look, I don't know if animal control, but, there's a case, maybe it has rabies or something. And we think it's sick because when I was leaving today to come here, it was across the street, kind of like it was almost resting its head on the pavement. So I suspect that, when I get back, we'll address something. But yeah, it was the raccoon thing. Because normally when I've encountered things like that or possums, I barely see them. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're just enough to where it's like, and I don't know what's like, if you and Casey have been walking,
Mm-hmm.
you see a possum and boom, it's gone.
We don't see a lot of possums in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
We walk in the daytime. I did see an albino possum one time. Yeah.
That sounds kind of
Really?
freaky.
It was really weird. It kind of, I don't know, maybe it was sick too. It had some weird fur. It almost looked like a calico cat, but it was an albino. Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
I'm not good
Yeah.
with wildlife. I don't like it. It's not supposed to be there. I don't want to see it. Go hide. Let me walk by and then come out.
Yeah, I don't even like straight, different cats. I mean, and in our neighborhood, we have kind of like the gauntlet. It's one block where there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 cats who absolutely could care less that my dog is him, that he's 85 pounds, and he will kill them if he gets a hold of them. They just don't care. They'll just sit there and stare him down like, this is my neighborhood. What are you going to do about it? And
I think that's just what cats do, though, right?
Yes.
My cats stare me down like
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
This is
Yeah.
my house. What are you going to do?
That's right.
You're going to move me off the ottoman? I don't think so.
Come at me, bro.
I'll get back on the ottoman.
That's what and dogs do it too. I mean, I was telling Mandee, I explain every Saturday when we do these. I go, okay, Daddy has to go for a couple of hours. I hold the fingers up. We're going to go for 2 hours, and I'll be back. And I just get this sneer at him, and I go, and we'll go for a walk. Sneer, and I go, we'll see you in 2. But my
2
theory,
and 2.
but my theory is on dogs is I think that, they always talk about the 7-year thing. So I think that maybe they multiply it by 7 in their heads. I don't know. I know he has anxiety issues because of his previous life too. So
Yeah.
and I get that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Casey has any anxiety. Any anxiety? Like when you're not there and you come home, does she get pretty super duper excited?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's like she smoked crack right before I get home. And then when I get in the door, yeah.
And she's probably been sleeping to
She
where
has.
she's. Yes, Rosanna will say to me, "Oh no, he's been out the whole day." but when he hears your truck, it's like he's yawning and jumping, and I'm like, "Okay, we can't jump. If you scratch the door, we're both in trouble. You understand the drill. This is how it has to be." Or it's always been, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, there's no walking in the door and sitting down to relax for a minute when you come home from
Oh, no.
work. It's always like frantic mode still.
I add an extra half hour immediately, and it doesn't matter what time. We have to walk. We have to be fed. You have to walk. We're going to come. You have your night treats that your mom has bought you that you have to have because that's just the way it is. It doesn't matter. It's just the way it is. I think that do you ever sit there And I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this. Do you ever sit there and have it to where we have news stories, and I guess particularly stories that are pretty serious things, and you go in your mind because like if it's a shooting type, like a multiple shooting thing, if there's this whole arc that happens that I'm wondering if and I'll sit there and think, I go, well, we're going to have the arc that happens, meaning the actual events happen, then we're going to hear this about it, this about it, this about it. Part of me kind of goes, am I being jaded? You know what I mean by that? Do you ever feel that way?
Did you hear it so often that you get jaded, or like?
Yes, kind of to where you go, the on how it's going to play, on how it's going to play out, and how it's presented. Like you're going to, the actual events happen, then it's going to say, well, it happened against. This is the person that did it. And then, and then of course, there's the political ramifications. No, let's not politicize this. No, we need to politicize this, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Do you ever?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know that I get jaded, but I'm always, I watch Dateline 24/7. I mean, I'm looking for murder constantly. So
Okay.
Murder does not jade me. But I do, I don't know. I just always think it's so sad. I just always find it very sad.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it. I'm not really sure.
And I've said this, like, there's certain things like, for instance, Uvalde. To me, Uvalde is going to be like, every time I see it, it's like the number one story on the list because of just the way, obviously it was this incredibly horrible situation. And as it was breaking, the first thing you think to yourself, or at least I did, is please don't let this be what I think it's going to be. Mm-hmm. And then as it developed to where things, obviously weren't taken care of correctly on site, you still want it to where, come on, guys. That's the other thing that I get frustrated. I see or feel so many situations where you want to just say, okay, raise your hand and say, yes, we'll fix it. We did it. Come on, be an adult.
You'd like to see adults accept responsibility when they don't? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of adults don't do that.
Because I think that's a bit. Well, no,
I think it's a big deal too.
Chuck, I think you should start a campaign.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I try to accept responsibility when I mess up because I just think it's easier to accept it, move on, and learn from it, go forward.
Yeah.
But there are a fair amount of people who are so prideful that they are unable to do that. And I think politicians might be one of the worst.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's
There's
probably...
some that do,
I think
but,
you're right. I think you're right.
they dodge it. They're really good at not answering and to bring something else up or shift the subject when they
Spin doctors,
I found it's just easy just to say, yeah, I did it, or, there's something wrong. Oh, yeah, I messed up, sorry, and then move on. But part of that is...
I like to wait till I get caught, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I was going to talk to you about that.
But I have trouble where I get things in my head too much.
Yes.
And I try to have it to where, they talk about like the pitcher that gives up the home run and they say have a short memory. Mm-hmm. That's where I've been trying to work on the past couple of years. Oh yeah. It's like
How's
hard
that
for
working
you to
for
be
you?
a goldfish.
better, huh?
Ted Lasso be a goldfish.
Yeah,
it's hard
yeah.
for you to be a goldfish.
Yeah. Well, no, it's gotten a lot better because
Yeah.
it's like I had about 2 weeks ago where I had a day where if I was fishing and I was in a boat and there's water, that if I could fall out of the boat and hit the water, it would have been a miracle. It was just, and it wasn't like on the air, it's like, oh God, it's just, how it is when you're on air, this. And you fumble or something.
Yeah.
And there's the back of your mind's going, God.
Yeah.
And then there was like 3-4 little tiny things where, and it wasn't horrible, but it was just, you grade yourself. I told somebody once I've never done 100% show. I don't think it's ever been perfect.
We set pretty high standards for ourselves.
Well, yeah.
We're our own worst critics, and I can dwell on something. I'll stay up all night like I'm the mentalist. I am the mentalist dwelling on all this stuff that's never going to happen. I'm worrying about stuff that happened 20 years ago. It's really wild. And it's just the way it's always been.
But man, I listen to you and what I hear, and of course, we all have different styles of delivery. And the thing that I just marvel at is your delivery is, what am I trying to say? A quick pace, but not a fast pace. It's not like you're blurting stuff out. And I'll sit there and I have this thing that I do when you're wrapping up a newscast, and I'll be watching as you're getting it, because I'll be listening to maybe the last 20 seconds when you're varying the speed of your delivery to hit the '06 mark, and I'll just go, okay.
It's taken many years to craft that. I mean, I'm just constantly watching the clock.
Back timing,
nonstop.
Yep.
I'm not good at that. Whenever I've had to do news, I haven't done it for a while. I can
You
do
can
it.
do it.
I can do it. I can do it when we have to hit network stuff during the 5. But it's like I've got trick things like script and stuff in my back pocket that contracts and everything. But the bottom of the hour, where you'd play the entertainment minute and then come off on that. Oh God, I used to just sit there and have flop sweat during that part of the.
Really?
Yes.
I'm so surprised. I just see you as so cool, calm, and collected.
No,
he is. He totally is. I think this is all in your head, and
I think so too.
Absolutely.
Maybe this all in my head thing isn't working so well.
I know, Chuck. I mean, I think we need to revisit that.
Anybody know a good therapist, please? Please.
We're in radio. We know therapists.
Quit buying us coffee. Start paying for therapy minutes.
Man,
buy me a therapist. buy me a session.
Yeah, buy me a session.
That's a good thought. Mandee, can we do that on social? No.
I don't know how that would work.
Probably
You might
not.
be breaking some HIPAA rules or something. I don't know.
Probably not well at all. But
oh, wow.
I'm trying to think of something else right now.
Okay.
I don't know. This is where we go. Edit.
Edit.
Okay, I want to know what this thing is about the Foundry that's in the middle of the
Oh,
notes. Are we doing an ad for the Foundry?
You know what I was doing? I was. That's a good question.
I don't really understand your line here. Were you like light and sweet as
I was sitting
or as
there.
black
I was sitting
as
there.
Joseph Conrad novel?
Okay.
I don't know that reference.
Okay, Joseph Conrad is kind of he's a bleak writer.
He's
I
a
was
bleak
sitting
writer.
there.
Okay.
I'd been toying with something for a while here, and that is, what if we put fake commercials in this to stimulate business?
I mean, we could try it.
Can I tell you a story?
Yes, please.
When I was growing up, my dad lives in Kansas City, and I would go visit him during the summertime. And I had a summertime friend, as you do. Mm-hmm. So my friend and she had a camcorder, and we would sit at her kitchen table, and we would make fake news scripts. I kid you not.
Whoa!
And we would do the music like a nightly news.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 like that. And we'd have our papers and we would read our news. We would just come up with like some Weird Al style news. And then we would do these crazy stories and just...
And look where you are today.
Isn't that funny? And so her dad, when I started, her dad listens to me. He streams us. Aww. And isn't that great?
Neat.
Yeah. And... shout out to Richard Bench. And so he said that he would try to find those old videos and see if he can get them.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I just thought about that. So maybe I did want to do the news.
Maybe you did.
Maybe I always did want to do the news.
Yeah. And I mean, and we've all had that where as kids or before we were maybe verbalizing it in our brains that we wanted to actually do this, that we were turned on about it. I mean, I would sit there as a kid. My dad had this wreck of a radio in the basement on this big table he had, and he would play solitaire while we did the laundry. But I would sit there and I would listen to North Star Hockey or try to get like KOMA in Oklahoma City. They would do alternative radio at night. And sometimes I would smuggle my transistor under my pillow and listen to it. And they would have it like at 2 a.m. It was Beaker Street, and Beaker Theater was at 2 a.m. Beaker Theater was like the old scary radio place from the 50s. And man, like even the promos were sounding scary, but I think I made it to one to where I actually listened to it in not long. And, I'm sure my dad knew that I was, doing that. He never said anything. It wasn't like the time he said, "Hey, why are there burns on the couch, Charlie?" I I don't know, Dad.
The radio got too hot. It was sitting on the couch.
Oh, gosh.
I was thinking, wow, is that the worst thing that you've ever done, Chuck? Because I'm over going,
I had it. Oh, God.
No, he's got stories that he doesn't tell.
oh, okay.
He
Good.
just you've alluded to some stories, but you've never really told them to me, and that's okay. I don't need to know them.
Yeah. But
But that's
told
where
me
it
you were
started.
wild,
Then
wild and crazy as a young jock. You shared that much at least.
well, yeah, but those are the times too. Like my first radio station, we were all single basically. Or like the chief engineer was married, the PD was married. This was in Austin, Minnesota. He had Minneapolis creds. He worked in Minneapolis for a couple of years and came back and did like probably 35 years in mornings there. And but yeah, we were all young and crazy, and it'd be like, I remember Bob Peterson. Bob was our copywriter, and it was like Bob had this incredible love of beer, as did we all, and so we would end up at Bob's place, and man,
It sounds like a bar.
It does.
I'm going to Bob's place.
I still have a picture somewhere stashed, myself and our news director, Dan Conrad, dressed up in our blue suits, our hats, and Blues Brothers outfit. Oh, God, yeah. Back from, say, maybe 1980 or something like that. Yeah, because I left in 81. Yeah, I went to Milwaukee, but that was something else, too. Total mind-blowing experience when you're in a town of 24,000 people and then move to a large market. You get there, and Chicago's 2 hours away. Milwaukee, at that time, my encounters would be like, I would get like the WOKY top 40, what's playing on top 40, WOKY, the Mighty 92, and I would just go, oh, wow, this is so awesome. And then all of a sudden, I'm in the market. I'm in the marketplace. And I remember listening to everything and listening to Chicago. And I heard Chicago stuff because where I was in Minnesota, you get WLS at nights, Clear Channel. And the Minneapolis stations was about 2 hours away, but still, you get there and you go, "Oh man, I'm dog meat. This is something else." But went there for $800 a month, and I was proud of it.
That's nice.
Simply pleased and proud. My dad was funny though. My old man, he was not. I think it took him maybe 3-4 years before he said anything about my radio stuff. I would send him tapes. Sounds pretty good, Charlie. Thank you, Dad.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Did he give out compliments otherwise? I mean, outside of radio stuff, or?
I think my dad, my father was kind of the unemotional type.
Okay.
Not a squeezy guy. And part of it is, and I don't know if this was me, he was a Depression era kid, born in 1919. Mm-hmm. But as I got older and we took care of him when Rosie and I were first married, we found out a few things that was just, he had had problems as an adult. He was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. But I always like to say, but he wasn't a bad one, which is a nice way of saying it wasn't like he was physical.
Right.
He didn't hurt me or anything.
Yeah.
But about once every 2 years, man, he would, as he would say, go right off the wagon. Mm-hmm. And he'd go to the hospital for a couple of days, and I'd stay with some friends who were just wonderful. But his wife, my mom, died in 1960. And, I think about that concept and how that just takes, there's the thought of it puts an imprint on you.
Right.
This isn't an imprint. This is like somebody taking their fist and just beating you.
Yeah.
So I give my dad a lot of credit because, this is in the 60s. Mm-hmm. People farmed their kids out. Mm-hmm. Men didn't take care of kids.
Yeah.
Not like that. So, he taught me how to cook, mm-hmm. taught me how to make my first egg. He was the guy that said, when I got my first job, I was working in an orderly at a nursing home down the block from my dad's house. And he was the one that was all of a sudden, allowance money is gone. You're working? Great. You still get to shovel snow in the winter and mow the lawns. But he also taught me the other rule when I would come home from Milwaukee, and that would be, you owe me a steak dinner. If you're buying dinner, great. If I'm buying dinner, you better pay the tip.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so he taught me some real universal rules like that. So it was just and I get it now. As a kid, I really didn't get it. I know my dad loved me. As an adult, when I really think about his life, there's at times I just go, oh man, that poor man.
Yeah.
because we also, is one of the things that we found out, we don't even know, is he was farmed out. When he was a child, he was sent to live with his grandparents. We do not know why.
Okay.
When he was 12, his father in Minneapolis, Minnesota, about 2 hours from where he was living at the time, came to him and said, "Do you want to come back here?" And he goes, Joe was his name, and he said, "No, Joe, you're not my dad." And it was in the time where, so he was probably 1932. He was like 12, 13. By all accounts, my dad idolized his grandmother. But his grandfather was a grandfather of the times, which is, you don't spare the rod, you probably lead with it most times.
Yeah.
So, it's just, and it was a totally different time where you could go to work. He worked at the George A. Hormel Company, spam lunch and meat, for 36 years. It was a totally different time where you could pack, for instance, a sandwich and probably a half pint of whiskey. I mean, it's just crazy. So anyway, but enough of that.
I can see you being an orderly. I bet you were a great orderly.
I loved, you know what? There was a time I was an orderly, got the gig when I was 16, so I was working a couple nights a week and maybe an 8-hour shift on the weekend, summer times, as much as I could get. There was a time, so I worked 16 until I was 19, until I got my first radio gig. There was a time, if I would have gotten $1,000 a month, which according to my Milwaukee gig was a bad deal, but if I could have gotten $1,000 a month, I would have stayed. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the people. And I wasn't in a situation where it was depressing or anything. I looked at it as you're doing, work that helps people, whether it's, the person that can be there that's kind of like an assisted care, somebody who maybe kind of can't get around, or somebody who's, you got to do the full thing. You got to take care of them. You're dealing in stuff that's maybe not fun, but it's just that thing that you develop blinders for it. You get attached to people, incredibly attached. I still remember a pal of mine. We had some, Roy Gosley, I remember his name. He was at Prairie Manor in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota for a couple of years, and he got along with a friend of mine who also did orderly work, Paul Veit, and he got attached to us. And then when Roy left, his family transferred him down the road to Austin, Minnesota, which is 15 miles away, because it was closer to the family. It was kind of it was kind of like what's open. And so there was a couple times we would go and visit Roy, bring him dinner. And then I think maybe about a year into it, he passed. But I think at one time I would have stayed, but it never occurred to me to think in terms of maybe staying or taking real training for it. Because back then it was like, well, here's your shirt and your name tag, go do it. But yeah, so to open that question, I really, really, really loved it. But and the radio thing just kind of fell into place. It was like, oh, and my dad was, where are you going to go to school? There was Brown Institute in Minneapolis, or Rochester Community College, which they had a station, maybe a Part 15 station that got you a block in Rochester, Mayo Clinic, 45 miles away. My dad said, go to the Twin Cities, get an experience of life. Just go do that. Because he would tell me stories about when he was 18, he survived in Minneapolis by hustling pool one winter.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Chuck, you have such an interesting
I know.
life.
This is very, I like
This
it.
is fascinating.
But the old man would
I
hustle,
hope that
pool.
you leave all this in.
Should I?
Yeah.
Yes. This is fascinating stuff.
My old man would hustle pool, and he was he was kind of the one that taught me about second effort, because most of his sports stories, particularly football, would end with and the bone was sticking out of the sweat sock.
Ooh.
So you just kind
A
of
different time.
yeah. So I wrestled in high
Bury
school.
the lead.
I wrestled in high school and was I sucked. I tell people that I knew the light wattage of every gym in the Gopher Conference. I got my ass
There's a pair of
kicked.
shoes hanging up in the gym.
The only time I won that I pinned a guy. I don't think I've. So welcome to the circle on this one too.
Okay, it's a new story.
First match. His first match.
You won your first match?
No. Yes. But it was also this guy's first match.
No, yes.
I've been wrestling a year and a half.
Okay, so not your first match. It was the first match you won.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the guy I was wrestling, he said, "It's only my first match." I go, "Oh, that's the breaks." I don't know what I said. I said, I probably said, "Okay," because I would go out there and just, and my orderly friend Paul Veit was one of these guys who, he was a wrestler. He got me involved in wrestling camp. And like a damn fool, I went to wrestling camp one summer. Holy shit. It was like if you like to have camp, it was like if you were doing Girl Scouts and all you did is get your ass kicked daily. Mm-hmm. That's all it was. And and not by just regular kids. These guys, when I wrestled, I was in incredible shape. These guys were just incredible shape. And Paul, I remember Paul had a face like it was like, all jaws and chin. When he would get a hold of you and do something like put his chin into your ribs, holy shit. It was like awful. It was like Geneva Convention type shit right there, But the guy, he ended up going to St. Thomas College. His knee blew out when he was a junior. He coached high school. I think it was Hastings for maybe 30 years. Hastings High School, which is in the Minneapolis, St. Paul metro, and ended up in the High School Hall of Fame as a wrestling coach.
Wow.
But he's one of those guys.
Well, no wonder you lost all the time. You were wrestling with people who were elites.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Future Hall of Famers.
Yes. Yeah. And then
I'm sure there are kids who played against Mahomes in high school that feel the way you're feeling
Yeah,
right now.
no doubt,
come
Chuck.
on.
man. But
Cut yourself some slack, Chuck.
Yeah.
so the moral of the story is anybody can pin my ass. No, I think
This is kind of a full circle with the whole
Yes, it
Nacho
was.
Libre.
Yeah, it was.
But it teaches
I
you-
didn't think about that. But
don't you think, though, that things like that, especially when we're younger, when we do sports, what did you do? What was your sport as a kid?
Soccer. I was a soccer girl.
Did you love soccer?
I was the goalie. Yeah, it was great. I didn't have to run up and down the field, and I would dive and I would catch everything. I would get invited to be a guest on travel teams.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd go around and do all that stuff. Yeah, that was great.
Well,
it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so was it something when you were doing high school soccer, traveling?
No, it
team?
wasn't high school. This was middle school.
Okay.
In high school, I just kind of fizzled out. I just fizzled out.
Well, was it something to where you lost interest, or
I don't really know what happened.
too many balls go to the back of the
We
net?
had a lot of stuff going on in the background.
Okay.
I've got kind of a weird backstory too. So there was other stuff going on, and so kind of like when I think back at it, and a lot of things are like this. I'm like, I don't know whatever happened with that.
Yeah.
I don't know why we stopped doing that, or I just don't know. I don't know.
I was going to say, do you ever watch? Are you a person that can watch pro soccer? Do you give a damn about that?
I don't
World
really
Cup?
care. No,
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of sports. I like watching the Chiefs,
Sure.
but that's about it. I mean, I don't. Winston, my husband, he is a fanatic. Any sport will do. And I'm not interested.
Really, I love hockey. So
Yeah.
So it's a big year for the Dallas Stars. Well, the next couple of years, they've got to win the cup, or they'll probably just start dismantling the team. That's probably going to be happening. And I'm not like because the World Cup's coming to town, coming to
Dallas,
the U.S. and it's going to be a ton of matches are going to be in Arlington. So that's a big deal too. So anyway, I'm just wondering because
I did.
tell her what was your
Let's have it.
competitive thing.
I played softball from the time I was in kindergarten until my senior year when I quit and started powerlifting.
Nice powerlifting.
She could
did.
probably lift me.
I love
No.
that.
No, I lift now, but I don't lift like to test myself. Now I'm just lifting to stay like physically strong and fit.
So deadlift. What's the PR? What's your personal best?
It's not that impressive.
Okay.
But in fact I fell at state powerlifting meet.
Okay.
doing a deadlift.
You did?
Yes, I was
How'd you
attempting, I
fall?
think, about 200 pounds. I just fell on
Yeah.
my butt. You know, when you're deadlifting, you're kind of down in a squat position, and then you've got your two arms in front of
Yes.
you, and you're pulling straight. You're straight up.
Yes.
And I just lost my balance and
Yeah.
sat down.
Okay, so it wasn't like you didn't.
I didn't
injure-
hurt myself.
Okay.
No, it was embarrassing though because you're it was actually at Fort Hood in Killeen, is where the competition was, and so you've got this gym full of people, and there's maybe like 5 stations. I think we had bench press, deadlift, squat. I'm trying to remember what else, but there's like across the gym floor, and you got these people
Yeah.
lined up, and they call your name, and they
All
tell
eyes on you.
they call your weight class. So, which for women is, not great. And I was a heavier girl. I was lifting in the 181s at
Okay.
that time.
Yeah.
So, and I had lost weight through training in powerlifting. So I actually had to gain weight to get up into my weight class to lift at state. It was really weird. I was drinking jugs and gallons of water to add weight to my body so that I could weigh enough to lift in my right weight class. It was wild. Everybody else is running around in trash bags trying to sweat and lose
Yeah.
to cut. And I'm like, give me more water. I got to get heavy.
Wow.
And so I go out there and they call out my name and they call out my weight class and what I was lifting. And it was the least amount of weight of anybody in my
Okay.
weight class. I just barely made it to state because other girls got injured in my weight class.
Okay.
They hurt themselves. That's how I ended up there. It wasn't because I should be there.
Okay.
And yeah, I go to lift it and I just went boop. It sat down on my butt. I mean, I tried to lift it and I lost the grip and just sat down. It was so embarrassing. But,
Yeah.
you live, you learn. But I went to state.
Well, at least
I
you
can
didn't
say
get
I went
hurt
to
either.
state. No, gosh, no. I had great coaches. We had White Oak had a really big team for the size of our school. So our high school was probably about 400 students total, freshmen through seniors. Maybe a little bit more than that. We had 30 or 35 girls that power lifted.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was a huge group of girls, and there were probably 12 of us that went to state.
Wow.
And some of the girls, actually my friend Christy, we were the same age. She set state records every year. Yeah, it was
That's
a
amazing.
talented bunch. Yeah, we had great coaches.
And weightlifting is not easy. I mean,
No.
and especially, good for you.
Yeah, it was
wow,
fun.
that's
It's
impressive.
hard.
It was
That's
fun.
impressive.
Yeah, and my dad was really mad. He didn't want me to quit softball, but it was one of those situations where my senior year, I had been playing on JV and I loved it. I wasn't like I needed to be the best athlete. I just loved the game. I loved being around the girls. And I had a head for the game, but I wasn't the most physically fit. So we fast forward to my senior year, there's this group of girls that are freshmen that are coming in, and they had been playing travel ball together from the time they were 8 years old.
Yeah.
And they all played infield positions. One of them was third base, which is what I had been playing. So I knew as a senior, he was going to have to put me on the varsity team. But I probably wasn't going to play. I was going to be the DH when we were down by 5, and he just needed to put me in because you need to let Shackley play every once in a while.
Yeah.
And so that's what I told him. I went to my coach and I said, hey, man, I'm out this year. He's like, what? We love you. You have the best attitude on the team. You're like the heart of the team. And I was like, I'm not going to play. You and I both know it. And if I was the coach, I'd be playing those girls too. I respect it.
Yeah.
I want you to win. I
Yeah.
want to see you go deep in the playoffs. But I'm going to go lift some weights and watch the boys.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
So I watched and my close friends played baseball growing up, and I watched them like in Dixie League. So I actually got to watch my friends, my senior guy friends, play baseball and go into the playoffs that year, where I wouldn't have if I'd been playing softball.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
cool. Look at you, man. That's a nice. I don't know that I had that perspective when I was.
I went
I
through
didn't.
a lot as a kid.
I might not still.
Yeah, we may have gone through similar stuff. I had crazy family stuff that
Yeah.
happened, but yeah, I just knew I wasn't going to play, and I was like, why am I doing this? If I don't want to go to practice every day,
Right.
To sit on the bench,
Yeah.
Game time. That seems unproductive. Like,
Right.
Why would I do that? And I just did a lot. I was on the yearbook staff. I competed in UIL stuff. I was in student council. I was in band, and I was like, if I'm not like gonna perform, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna practice. I'm not gonna
spinning my wheels.
right.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was probably annoying to a lot of other kids in my class. 'Cause
Overachiever.
I was.
That
very
is,
much.
I was saying, I'm
Very
trying to
much.
remember what I did in high school, and it was just barely get by. I barely got by. I barely made it to class. I barely stayed in class. I mean, I'm sure my mom was just like out of her mind, like trying to just wrangle this, crazy kid.
I was the epitome of the average student.
I think I did back handsprings when they called my name at graduation. I couldn't believe that I graduated. I was like, "Oh my god, I did!" Yes.
And when I think about it, I didn't particularly care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I
It doesn't really matter once you're an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it did. I thought everything mattered so much in high school.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
But I think
did.
that's good to think that things matter. I think that's okay when you're a kid.
And also to know that it's not going to hold you back later.
That's true. Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Life is what you put into it at every stage of life.
Listen, I went through high school thinking none of this matters.
That's
and
homework stuff.
it was just kind of, I felt like I was like a rudderless, I didn't really have any direction whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, I don't know.
But then you found it.
I found it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it till I was about 30.
That's okay.
people grow up
I'm
different.
still looking for it.
Me
no,
too.
I found it, yeah. I found it.
When I got married,
Yeah.
I felt grounded and felt that, and of course it helps. Look, Winston supports you in your broadcast career.
Yes.
It helps incredibly
Yes, it
when you
does.
have that person.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever I've done, whether it's, back in 95, I said to Roseanne, I'm going to launch a mobile DJ business. This is what I think I need to do it. It's going to take a couple of years to acquire stuff. What do you think? Okay.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was on board.
Winston's pretty quick to agree with my crazy ideas, or he'll just nod and let me do it. He doesn't care. He never puts his foot down. It's pretty impressive. I mean, he just okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But that's also faith in your partner too. That's just
That's nice. That's a nice.
I mean, because if you don't, I've never been in a situation with Rosie where I felt she hasn't had faith in me. I mean, granted, you're going to have situations where it's like, and that's like if you're talking nuts and bolts or expenses or whatever, just regular things to where, oh, we need to watch this or we can't do this or guess what? It's not pizza night tonight, or like I used to kid her back in the my KNUE days especially, or even at the ranch when ratings were still a big deal. And they'd come out and I'd say, hey, no bar-ass hot dogs for this household for 6 months.
Wow.
Let's set that crap to the side. This has been the first time in a long time. Normally I'll sit there and have this kind of thing in my head. They'll go, oh, spring ratings are out. And this is the first time in a long time. I think it was last week I took a peek. And I was like, oh, okay. The ranch, I think, had about a 3.5. They're coming back up again.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. But,
I'm out of that game.
Yeah. John Boy and Billy are quitting.
Are they? Well, it's probably about time.
They're folding the show at the end
It's
of the year.
probably about time. How old are these guys? They've been doing the same shtick for 40 years?
Yeah. And that's the thing, too.
You got to retire it at some point.
Well, they've...
Not that it's not great. I'm not trying to. I'm
No,
not
but
knocking
honestly,
them.
yeah.
But they've been doing this literally the same bits for a long time.
Well, like Carl Childress, that's like, okay, I get it. It's Billy Bob Thornton, but this is just a bit much. So, but, some of
Kudos
these...
to them on a long career.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and some of these teams, why do I have to keep getting up at, 3 in the morning to do a syndicated show? And, they're East Coast time. I think they are. They used to be, their home station was in Charlotte, so but it's not there anymore. So I don't know how they do that. I don't know if they can, maybe do it a half a day in advance so they're not getting up. Probably these days they can if you sit there and, just pretend it's 6 a.m. or whatever.
Done a lot of that over the years.
Sure. That's the
Voice tracking.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Look,
Track about 2 days ahead if you've got like 40 shows to do across 3 days of vacation.
Yeah.
Which I experienced that once or twice. It was wild.
That's
It's like
too much.
It's like working a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, that's too
like
much.
knowing which stations and which shows, and do you have a weekend show on this station, and what's happening over the weekend.
Yeah.
Craziness.
she used to
Wow.
break out her show prep, and I'd go, "Oh, yikes! Wow!"
Yeah.
because it was just like
There was a time where I was doing 5 and 6 shows, different shows, a day.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, the breaks were short, sometimes 8 seconds. Maybe the longest would be like a 24 if I had a really long intro on something. But yeah, it was quick, but you had to really, it was like working a jigsaw puzzle is
Yeah.
the best way to describe it, with
Yeah.
words and pop culture and station things and local things, and Mandee things. Had to get a little bit of all of that in there each
Yeah.
show, and it was tricky.
I think that most of the public will never know how tricky it can be. Radio can be.
Oh yeah, no, they have no
They will
idea.
never
They think
ever
they
know
can
that.
crack a mic and talk
Yeah.
about their favorite song, and then it's so fun for me. This is the dark side of me. It's
Okay,
always
I love
fun
it.
for me whenever somebody thinks they can do it and then they walk
Yes.
in and they
Yes.
choke.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I make it look effortless because I did it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Not because it is effortless. It's because I practiced a lot.
That's right. And I would
Yeah.
have people say, "Why do you get to? If you don't go to on the air until 6? Why do you get there so early?" I'm like, well, you don't just crack the mic and start talking. You
Yeah.
you want to prepare.
prepare.
Okay, so I had an idea. I just want to throw this out here for you guys. So, have you ever watched that Dark Side of the Ring? Have you ever seen that show? It's on Vice, and it's the dark side of wrestling. So
Oh,
it tells
I've heard
familiar.
about
I
it.
think I've heard of it.
It tells
yes.
the dark stories of
I've read. Is it Bret Hart's book?
Yes.
Yes.
And then Owen Hart, the Hart. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So it tells about those stories, like they're growing up, and then a lot of them are on drugs, domestic. Well, they all have
kinds of
stories,
craziness,
and
yes.
it is awesome. And it's like the Von Erichs, they tell that story
Yep.
too. Okay, so I was thinking the dark side of radio.
We should do
about
an
it, man?
episode. Well, I'll have to think through that. We should come up with what that would look like.
I
if
don't
there
know
was
that we could get away with
some-
it. You guys could.
You could do it
That's
tastefully.
interesting.
We could do it tastefully. I
Anyway.
think.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have all these stories, so just saying, whatever. Just spitballing this morning.
dark.
Thinking
We could
about
change the names of people if we needed to.
We're as black as a Joseph Conrad novel. I don't know.
You got it in, Chuck. You did
All
it.
right, we'll think about that.
You did
Melissa.
it.
No,
Think on that one.
I think the beauty of radio too, and I still, once I think, well, who cares? I think because of the fact that we're not on TV, there's that mystery of it.
Yes.
What do they look like? What's the place like? Or, how many times, Melissa, have you been at the station and maybe visitors come through and they start looking over the place like, wow, this is something else. Where it's like, well, we can show you some cracker boxes, but it's
Yeah.
not us.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that are really fascinated by radio, though. I think there is a mystery to it, and then people grew up listening to the radio, and it's just always been intriguing. There are just a certain group of people.
Well, you get to use your imagination.
Yeah.
You don't get as much of that with television
Right.
or film because you've got multiple senses engaged, right? But with radio, it's just the audio.
Yeah.
So then your mind's eye is imagining. Do people ever tell you that you look different than you sound?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I thought you'd be taller and blonder.
Oh, really?
I used to get that all the time. I was like, really? Okay, all right.
See,
I'm
always
going to
tell-
take that as a compliment.
I always
think.
tell people when I meet them, I go, I know I don't look like, I look way worse than what you were thinking. I get it. I always want to get them before they get me. It's my motto.
It's so fun, though, that when we are in situations, when listeners come up and look, and you kind of, and I'll take a second to explain it. This isn't what it is like at ordinary stations. We have people here. We have a station that on a Monday through Friday basis, and sometimes on the weekends you'll hear the actual time, you'll hear the temperature. And that's not what it's like in regular radio, so be thankful for it.
Yeah.
And, of course, that comes down to one guy, Paul Gleiser, our owner.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure if he wanted to have sold the station, he could have done it eons ago.
Absolutely.
The gold rush of probably about, 97 or something when, they were paying incredible prices for radio property.
Yeah.
And then they drove them into the ground.
Yeah.
Did you hear something?
I'm sorry. I'm so
No.
jaded when it comes
The
to
dark
this.
side of radio.
Their stories, man.
It's dark. It's bleak.
They're trying to operate it the same,
Same way,
way.
yeah.
And technology has changed.
Right.
And they've just cannibalized and cannibalized the talent. And when you don't have talent anymore, you no longer have a product.
Right.
You just have Spotify. Bad
Yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah.
And people would rather listen to Spotify and they'll pay for it instead of listening to your free garbage.
Yep.
Okay, I said it.
Okay.
I love press releases when Connoisseur took over Alpha. So the press releases are like, we're here to serve the community better. And I'm like, oh, bullshit.
I hope
And
you
the
do.
horse you ran in come into our town? No.
Yeah, I hope you do. I hope you're telling the truth, but I've seen otherwise.
I mean, it's okay. It's like when Alpha took over, whoever took over, and KWI was still live, right, before Jack. We're live and local. The first thing I did was put Jack FM on.
Which is not live or local.
No.
It's snarky and it's fun. I listen.
I
but
don't that much. Not anymore because our pal Michael Storm.
I do listen to his station more. Yes.
Yeah, Michael Storm
Is
Do
very
you remember
local.
Michael Storm from the 90s?
No.
He was over at the old Mix 107. Michael, well, okay, a couple things from Storm. Good PD. Probably has the best hair of anybody I've seen. Of course, I'm a low bar when it comes to hair, man. But Storm launched the station on 95.1. What?
January.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been so fun. I mean, he put it out there to where it's fairly well developed. The whole basic thing was, let's make an oldie station newer. And in his case, it was a lot of 90s, 80s, not so, and he would have...
but he pops in some Teddy Swims and some
Yes.
Benson Boone, Halsey, AC.
Yeah.
Hot AC.
But
Yeah.
and I'll hear things where I'll go, because there's a certain amount of programming. This is the way you do music programming. Like in country, it was never have two females back to back ever, or never come out of a break with a slow song. I remember arguing with somebody about when Lone Star had the song Amazed out.
Yeah.
I go, wait a minute, this is number one on the planet. When I was doing gigs at the time, any wedding I was doing for a year, that was it. So that can't come out of a break. No. It's slow. So what?
It's powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff. But I heard the other day on Storm Station on 95.1. So it's has a kind of an the jingle was one of those that he's been doing where it's kind of has the speed is variable on it, and then it goes into a slow piece, a medium slow piece, a medium up piece, another jingle into NXS, and I'm driving with the dog. We're going to the park, and I'm going, that's some shit there, Michael.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's just he's doing things that's different. Also, he's doing public service stuff, which has kind of disappeared.
He does
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Yes.
He is localizing that station like crazy, and it's impressive because he's a one-man show.
And that's the one thing when we were talking to him originally, I said, "Well, are you going to get like a Charlie Van Dyke?" And he said, "No." He said, "I really can't afford it," and it was a good move because it cements. I mean, he's talented enough. He's talented anyway to where it cements him as the ambassador of that brand. I mean, I didn't think about it at the time, but yeah. I mean, and it just really, 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 really sounds good. But I was texting him the other day. I told him, I said, this really, really sounds good. And, I really like this. And I said, I don't know if you've shortened your jingles up even more, but also lengthened some things. And he said, yeah, I've been working on some things. And let me know, if you spot something. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that because it's just working really well.
Yeah.
It sounds really good.
The only problem that he has is his signal's in Jacksonville and it's spotty in Tyler. But have you heard the line, Mandee, where he's talking about, you know what I'm talking about? Just use your Bluetooth.
If the signal breaks, that's why we have the app. Download Great FM app. I listen to the app most mornings. That's what I listen to when I'm getting ready for work.
My
And
wife does that.
I really enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He's switched his music up too because I'm hearing things that I haven't heard him play before, which I
Yeah.
appreciate. It's like he's massaging his library. He's been playing the Shoop Shoop song by Cher.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that song in, I don't know, on the radio. I haven't heard that song in 30 years.
I can't even think of what song that is. How
Does
it
he
go?
love me?
In his kiss?
How can I know? It's in his kiss.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
Is
For
it
mermaids.
in his arms? No.
Is that the mermaids?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And if he's doing what I think he's doing, I mean, I used to have the rule of thumb when I was active music director in PDIG, about once every 6 months, print out the library, by category with spin totals. You look for any anomalies at the worst, but also what you just look for is, where we're going to move some things. It's like on classic country, you're always going to play Coal Miner's Daughter forever and ever, but maybe you want to shift it from here to here. And like in our station, when we worked together at KKUS, we had you had the midday request show, and I had something in the afternoons, and Don, our morning guy, could pretty much spike things in whenever. So you kind of look for things like that, if anything pop. Plus, I thought it was always a healthy thing to go through everything, I mean, liners too, and not so much not oil change it, but just a nice, healthy tweak to make things better,
Yeah.
That was just my opinion on that.
I'm glad we threw a plug in there for him because it does sound really good, and I've been listening a lot lately.
Oh, God, yeah. Rosie, I mean, when we go anywhere, she has it to where it's pre-programmed. And I think she's 2023, I think, for her car. So everything's pre-programmed. Me, it's like my truck is like my radio works.
Yeah. Yeah.
She turns it on and it just intersects with her phone, which is pretty awesome, actually. But she said, "Well, one of these days we'll get you this." And I go, "You know what? I'm just happy with my truck. It gets me to work. We get to the park a couple days a week. We're groovy with that." Battle raccoons occasionally, but that's the price I have to pay for living in East Texas.
Man, I saw 5 raccoons running across the street the other morning when I was out walking, and I was
5?
like, "Yes."
Did it scare you?
It was weird.
Yeah.
I was at an intersection and I was crossing the street, and so the cross street that I was crossing is where they were running across, like, I don't know, maybe 20 yards ahead of me, and I was like, "What is going?" It just surprised me. I was like, "I've never seen this many raccoons together in the neighborhood." I mean, this was like, these are relatively nice homes. It's kind of a well-trafficked neighborhood, and I was just out of nowhere. There's 5 I grabbed my phone and tried to video it because I was like, this is nuts. What is happening right now?
I have parked outside of the station before, and I'll back my car in, and as I'm backing in, it's pitch black at night. I have my headlights on, and there's a raccoon sitting right by the door, and I'm thinking, I'm going to have to sit in my car until this raccoon goes away.
Yeah.
I don't want to get bit by some rabid raccoon, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to call Daffod here pretty quick to tell him why I'm late. I'm here. I'm just in the parking lot waiting on the raccoon to leave.
It's the dark side of suburbia, ladies and gentlemen.
The dark side of radio.
That's right. We'll bracket this story about raccoons with you, Mandee.
Oh,
you'll be. Oh no, we'll make it work.
we've come full circle.
I like it.
I don't. It'll be the dark side of everything.
Okay.
The dark side of raccoons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've covered your family history. We've covered sports. We've covered raccoons.
Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre. And the potential breaking and entering from Chuck McKinley.
Yes.
That's mostly my stuff. I feel kind of awkward. To be
No, it's
honest with you.
good.
No, it is good.
It's good.
Did I feel awkward?
Yeah.
That and that we got so much out of you today.
And you might get a therapy session today.
You know,
you never know.
never
when
know.
people
Next thing you
might
know, I'll
donate.
get a bill
Buy
from
me
you
a
two on the
session.
emails. Pay up, loser.
That's pretty good.
No,
I would never bill you.
I think what's and of course that's how this show really was born. I mean, we would sit having coffee or lunch or something, and for a 10-year period, we need to do a podcast. And I think my initial thought was, and see where we go with this. And that's what I find is interesting about this is it's. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. It's a lot more work than I thought. But on the other hand,
The dark side.
the dark side. But you know what's so funny? And I'm gonna cop to this, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we've started doing it. Maybe we do this once a month, and I've missed it because before it was like every week. So
It was a sprint.
yeah.
It was a sprint for you.
Yeah.
I felt really bad after we got started. I was like, this is a lot of work on my friend. That
Yeah.
But
I really care about.
I tried to sit there and really not bitch too much about.
You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't. But then when we got to
Because
we got
nobody
to a
likes
year,
nobody likes a big a bitch.
That's right.
I'm
We get to
sorry.
a year, and he's like, if we stopped, it'd be okay.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I know that you miss it. I feel like this is a good pace.
Yeah.
It's a good pace.
Yeah, it is.
We found our flow.
I mean, editing this in focus, I get to edit.
You don't have to.
I know. Well, but you know what? That's funny because, like I was telling you, Jeff and I were talking, and we just came to this gentleman's agreement. Oh, well, if you're gone, Chuck, I'll edit because I think he thought it was, and I understand because when I was production director, I automatically assumed anything with sound pretty much fell under my wing, and so I understand that. So I'm glad that we've got that. A nice backup there. Maybe Midge will come back. I don't know.
I don't think so. So I was recently promoted to news director.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so part of my duties, I get to tell people what to do. It's a lot of
Really
fun. I
fun.
never wanted to do it, but I don't mind doing it. And everybody's been real receptive. I mean, it's gone really well. But part of that was who's going to do in focus, who's going to edit that. So we gave it to Midge. Well, then Midge puts her 2 weeks notice in, and I said, Chuck, you'll be the backup. So when Midge is out, you can do it. So then Midge leaves.
Yeah.
Poor Chuck gets stuck with the in focus.
But-
So I
well,
said,
but-
no problem. We can give this to someone else. It's not that big of a deal. But Chuck had made a joke to Roger
Gray.
about
Well,
Roger's going to be doing this
I'll
soon.
come clean. I said, hey, Roger, in about 2 weeks, guess what? I'm giving this to you. Roger Gray sat and gave me he gave me the stare of death for like 2 seconds. And I was thinking, well, this is the dark side of news. You don't see that much.
That's right. Everybody's got a dark side.
And I said to Melissa, I said, he's going to think that I bitched. And I said, it was one of those things that took me 2 weeks or a week to go, oh, this is how I can do it, to where I listen to the whole thing, come back, clip it up, put it in this. It takes
Chuck
like 40 minutes.
is just doing this out of guilt. The only reason why he's doing this in focus is completely out of guilt because he made a joke.
No,
He
it is
does have a
not.
lot
I'm
of
team
Catholic
player.
guilt, Melissa. If he hasn't shared this with you.
Yeah. No, yeah.
He
Basically, it's everything's repressed. I mean, it's
The repressed side of radio.
Yes. Radio repression.
It's not only dark, but it's repressed. It's dark and it's repressed.
Start a
Did we not-
podcast.
Hey, did we not lead with you being saying that you're news director?
No, we didn't.
Really?
That's okay
Should have.
though.
Well, what the hell?
buried the
That's like
lead.
right on the top of my sheet here.
I know.
all right. Toot toot. So I was recently
So, actually, one of the questions I was going to ask is, did you have a particular vision for the news department, or it's just, hey, let's just make things better and keep doing this?
That's it. Yeah. Let's make it better. Let's smooth it out a little bit. Let's kind of figure out who's doing what because there's never really been like specific people doing specific things. It's all just been a combination. And I think through the years when there's been a little personnel switch up or whatever, things get really blurry and confusing. So there might be a couple people doing everything, and then the other people get used to the two people doing everything.
Yeah.
And it's not a good situation. So we just basically needed to kind of outline what needs to be done, and that's where I'm good at doing stuff like that. I can outline it. I can say you'd be good at this. This is what you're going to be doing, and so
Teams appreciate that too.
Yeah.
They appreciate knowing
they
what
want
the
direction.
assignment is.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
You
They want
need to-
direction.
Seriously, I mean, all kidding aside, it's always good to be in a situation where you go, you know what, the city of Tyler's doing this, Chuck, would you call them and break it down? Because
Yeah.
one of the things I'm getting to, I forget what it was, I have this weird problem that
I don't know where this is going.
I can't wait to hear
This
it.
weird problem.
I can't wait.
That's the repressive part of it. No, it's something to where you have a sound bite, maybe you have 2 or 3, and you're writing around it. And I think part of me as a writer is pretty insecure about that. And I have learned, and again, it's one of these things to where I have to kind of close my eyes and go, okay, edit what you know. Get all these things out, smooth them out, put it on the page, like 3 or 4 sound bites, and then just start writing around it.
Yeah. And you do great. It's in your head. I'm telling you, it's in your head because people, you call people and they want to talk to you, Chuck. They want to talk to you. And then the writing part, I mean, you talk a good game. You write what you talk. I mean, you do a good job. I wish you'd get out of your head most days.
Probably.
But today's been a good day in your head. And I've had a lot of fun in there.
Thanks. But yeah, I'm surprised we didn't lead with news director because that was my main question.
That's why he told me he wanted to bring you in.
Okay.
He was like, Melissa got promoted. Let's have her on.
Yeah.
And by the way, people, and under the headline of comfort, people may look at our, where are we, series 2. So we have Chris Ryan.
Yes.
Who was our first for the season. Chris Ryan, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was in the market maybe a couple, 3 years, maybe 30 years ago. But he had the best discovery story ever. He was discovered.
I listened to this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I listened to you guys. I love your podcast. Yeah.
you.
So he has this discovery story.
At the DQ, right?
Yes.
At the DQ. And so he was telling us about like Dallas radio, but also he makes his money now as a voice actor. And he was describing things because you go to his webpage and punch it up for his voiceover samples, and you just go, well, I'm dog meat. This guy, and he has so much subtleness. It's just friggin' real. But Kenny
Smith.
is it Kenny's second or third time?
He's second.
Second.
No, I don't know. I don't remember.
It'll be Storm. If we have Storm back, it'll be a third time.
Yes.
He'll get the third time award.
He'll be the first 3-peat.
If we get a 5-peat, do we
Yes.
start handing jackets out
You
to
should.
people?
Sure, I can find something on Amazon.
We'll
Maybe
just
a
get
koozie. You could
we'll
hand
get
out
some,
koozies.
we're gonna get some oversized
Yes. Sure, yes.
stuff
Or
like
maybe
that.
a matchbook. Remember
Yeah.
matchbooks? We should bring the matchbooks
We should
back.
bring the
Yes.
matches back.
Okay.
I like this plan.
and we can put on there, thanks for listening to Mandee and Chuck. Now all you have to do is smoke.
Light it up.
But which, by the way, when they talk about vaping, you would think that people would understand that if
While we're on the topic,
if you put something in your mouth that is going to be on fire or
Chuck.
fire-ish, that's going to hurt you, right?
You have gone down a rabbit hole.
yeah, this is definitely.
I think we wrapped this
Yeah.
up.
This has been another episode of The Unknown Morning Show.
I'm Mandee Montana.
And I'm Chuck McKinley.
This is our show to explore radio,
Podcasting.
Gear.
And the gearheads that use the gear.
and making money with a hot mic.
And other stuff in between.
We'd love for you to follow us on social media as well. Follow us on Facebook at The Unknown Morning Show and Instagram at The Unknown Morning Show. See us on YouTube at The Unknown Morning Show.
Thank you for listening to The Unknown Morning Show.
I'm Mandee Montana.
I'm Chuck McKinley. And remember, be kind and rewind.